Creatine monohydrate, is it safe? Should you supplement with it? What does it even do? Is it going to turn you into a frog? In this video, I'm going to explain that all to you. Although I do want to say, before starting the video, if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, then please do subscribe. Now, the short answer for whether or not you should take creatine monohydrate is, in my opinion, you should absolutely be supplementing with creatine monohydrate. Now, if you're wondering what creatine monohydrate does, I'm going to break this down very simply for you. I'm not going to overcomplicate this at all. Think of it like this. Everyone, me and you included, has 3 energy systems, okay? Now, you can actually train these energy systems to get better. So these 3 energy systems, I'm going to informally name them the quick energy system, the medium energy system, and then the longer energy system. Where the quick energy system actually comes into play is like for your weightlifters or your 100-meter sprinters. So it's a very quick burst of energy, a very intense quick burst of energy. Again, it lasts for about 8, 9, 10 seconds. So if you're doing a set, you'll be using this first quick energy system primarily. Now, when it comes to the medium energy system, and athletes who will typically use this energy system is like 200 to 400 meter runners or your footballers, for example. And this energy system typically lasts for about 15 seconds to 2 minutes. And again, it's not precise figures. This is just roughly speaking. Now you've got that final energy system, which is the much longer one. It's not as intense as, definitely not as intense as the first one, and then not as intense as the second one either, but it lasts for so much longer because this one can last for like over 2 minutes to several hours. And the athlete that will primarily be using this final energy system is someone like Mo Farah, a long distance runner. Now, what creatine monohydrate does is it helps improve that first quick energy system, which you're going to be primarily using in the gym when you're lifting weights. And how it does that is it increases that quick energy system from maybe 8, 9, 10 seconds to an additional second. And now that might not sound like much, and you're probably thinking, an extra second, that's what all the fuss is about. But think about it like this, that extra second can make a massive difference. That's potentially an extra rep at the end of all your sets. And now, if you add that up over the long term, whether it's over the weeks, the months, the years, that will add up a ton. That could be a lot more progress. And now throughout the rest of this video, I'm going to be answering a few common Q&As when it comes to creatine monohydrate. And now the first common question I typically get is creatine monohydrate safe? And the answer is yes, creatine monohydrate is very safe. It's one of the most widely and deeply researched sports supplements. And now the second common question I typically get is, should you opt for the powdered or pill version of creatine monohydrate? And my advice to you is to opt for the powdered version, just because it gets absorbed better by the body. I just quickly wanted to interrupt this video to let you know about the free protein cheat sheet that you can grab from my website via the link in the description of this video. This guide has over 100 sources on, maybe 150, maybe 200, ranked from most to least efficient in different categories. So meat, seafoods, beans, dairy, etc. So should you do a loading phase? And if you don't know what a loading phase is, it's just basically when you up the dose of creatine that you take for maybe the initial 2 to 3 to 4 weeks. So instead of taking 5 grams daily, you might take 10 or 15 grams daily. Now, judging from what I've heard, there's no wrong or right approach with this one. You could do a loading phase the same way, you might not. I personally don't. Whenever I get back on taking creatine monohydrate consistently again, I'll just get back to taking 5 grams daily. So how and when should you take creatine monohydrate? Now, when it comes to how, I would say you could pretty much mix it with any sort of liquid. I'll sometimes put creatine monohydrate in my water bottle. I would sometimes put it in my fruit juices. I would sometimes put it in my smoothies. So there's many ways to take it. I wouldn't overthink it. The most important thing is that you're just consuming or drinking your creatine monohydrate, you should say. And I would say it's 5 grams a day, every day. And the most important thing is to be consistent with that. And now you're probably wondering, when should you take it? Some people say it's before a workout. Some people should say it's after a workout. Some people say it's during. Now, truth be told, there is probably an optimal time to take it, but I can assure you that the gains from doing that is going to probably be like 0.01%. So I wouldn't worry about that. The most important thing is that you are taking it consistently every single day, because the most important thing when it comes to any supplement, or you know what, anything in health and fitness, is you take it when you can be most consistent with it. If waking up in the morning first thing allows you to be most consistent with taking creatine monohydrate, then that's when I would opt for it, because there's no use hearing that it's most optimal just before your workouts, but like 50% of the time before your workouts you forget to take it. So again, my advice to you is to take it whenever you can be most consistent with it. And I would just usually take it when I go to the gym, because that's when I will remember to have it. And now the next common question I get is who should be supplementing with creatine monohydrate? And in my opinion, many people could be potentially supplementing with it. Elderly people, vegans and vegetarians especially. Elderly people, because I've heard, and this isn't my speciality, but I've heard it comes with a lot of cognitive benefits. But when it comes to vegans and vegetarians, creatine monohydrate is often found in like meats and seafoods. And obviously with vegetarians cutting those things out, vegetarians and vegans more than anyone would respond extremely well to supplementing with creatine monohydrate. But ultimately, I would say anyone who's going to the gym, because that's what we're speaking about here, working out. Now, one potential hesitancy, if that's even a word, that I've heard of, and it's very common when it comes to supplementing with creatine monohydrate, are the scale weight fluctuations that can come with it. Now, these scale weight fluctuations, they're very normal, okay? It's water retention, it's extra water retention that's potentially happening from supplementing with the creatine monohydrate. Your body is holding on to more water temporarily. Okay, this is very normal and it's nothing to worry about. And one thing I do want to say is that if you want to supplement with creatine monohydrate, but you're not because of this specific reason, then I would say just don't weigh yourself for a while. Because the old me would have said, okay, don't supplement with it. But nowadays I just think, why would you miss out on all these benefits because of that? I would say I'd rather you just didn't weigh yourself for a while, because these benefits could be great, you know? So in summary, this video was basically a long-winded way of saying creatine monohydrate gives you more energy and it's good for you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel already, please do subscribe, because it helps immensely with me putting out videos like this. Like the video, and I'll see you around.